everybody, this is Scott Newton with Builders and Management Plus. I'm here at the property of one of our clients, Chuck and Wendy. We just finished their project. They have brand new roofing, brand new gutters, siding, beautiful classic look, contrast of black on white. But I'm here because I wanted to actually answer a question for you real quick that I get all the time, and it's a really difficult one for homeowners to deal with. And I want to give you some perspective from the contractor side, right? And the question is this. You can have great quality work. Hopefully everyone wants that. If you're a homeowner, you're invested in your property, you want to make sure it gets taken care of correctly. But at the same time, you don't want to get ripped off. You don't want inferior materials, you don't want inferior labor, and you don't want to pay an inflated number, right, for the work that you get done. So how do you find that out? And so we'll look first at the low ballers, and then we'll look at the high ballers. And that way you can kind of get an idea, how do I find what's in the middle and what's fair? It's usually a wise thing to get multiple quotes. That's what most people do. They look at 3 or 4 or 5 different quotes and they compare those to each other. One of the questions I get all the time is, well, yours seems higher than so-and-so's, and I see you're using the same shingle. So one of the things you got to keep in mind is you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. But what a lot of people will do who are playing the limbo game of how low can I go, how much can I underquote the bid in order to steal it from my competitors, we'll use a good quality shingle, but what's underneath it? For instance, we use Certainty Integrity system for our roofing. That means you're going to get the best warranty on the market, you're going to get the best components on the market, and with Certainty's warranties, you absolutely have to use everything Certainty. That's because they work well together. That's how they can offer the best warranty on the market. So what a lot of people will do is they'll put the first layer on, the shingles, but what about the synthetic underlay? What about the flashings? Are they going to change those? What about the drip edge? What about the ice and water shield? But a roof is way more than just shingles. A roof is an entire system that works well together and keeps your property and your house protected against the elements. So that's one thing that a low baller will do. Don't just look at the shingles. Ask about the entire system. Ask about the warranties. Are they another thing that a low baller contractor will often do is they'll use materials that they buy in bulk or discounted, even things that have been discontinued or recalled. They'll buy those at a very cheap discount and then use that to bring their prices down. The problem again there is manufacturers are not going to stand behind that warranty. So what's underneath it? What's going on with it? Who's installing it? What kind of certifications do they have? You can have a nice logo and a certification on a company's website that says we're Master, Elite, Gold, whatever, but what about the people actually putting it on if they're using subcontractors? Have they gone through certification training for the specific products that they're installing? Who's supervising them? Who's going to be there? You know, what I've seen a lot is you can literally go to a Home Depot and you can see people hanging out as roofers waiting for someone to come pick them up, and they'll come by in a big truck and say, hey, I need 4 or 5 roofers. They're not checking their insurance, they're not checking their certifications. They don't know if they know the difference between an Owens Corning, a GAF, a Certainty shingle. They have no idea. So who's going to supervise them? Who's going to be there on site to make sure that things go well? What happens if there's a mistake? So you want to make sure that you know what kind of labor are they using? Are they properly insured? Are they properly trained? And are they properly supervised? This may sound weird. You're looking at it and going, I need to hold on to my money and not get taken advantage of. But hey, guess what? We live in a capitalist system. The company's not going to be around if they don't make money. So you do want them to make a profit, right? You want them to make a profit, but what you don't want, and we're about to talk about that, is you don't want it to be inflated. You want it to be fair. You want it to be right. And if they're not, if they're just going as low as they can go, how motivated are they going to be to honor their warranty? I tell this to people all the time. Well, so-and-so offers X amount years warranty and X amount years labor and manufacturers. Well, that's just a number. What happens when you actually file a claim, or you call that installer and say, hey, I have a leak. Hey, I have an issue. Something isn't looking right. Shingles aren't sealing down right. Anything like that. How responsive are they going to be? And the simple answer to that is, well, obviously if they're ethical, they're going to be motivated. But beyond that, you need a little bit more motivation. They need to be financially motivated, right? So that they actually have that built into their costs to where, hey, we know maybe 1 out of 100, maybe 1 out of 200, we're going to have some slight error or something went wrong, and we have to go back and fix that. That happens. No matter how good your quality control is, things can happen. It's construction, right? So you want to make sure that they're motivated and they have a good enough profit to where they want to maintain that relationship with you. They want to come back out. They want to get it right. They want to keep your referrals. If they're a lowballer, their volume, they're churn and burn. They're coming in, they're throwing on a roof as fast as they can, and they are getting the heck out of Dodge. You don't want that. There are definitely plenty of contractors out there who are more than willing to take more money than they should take to do the right job. So how do you identify those? How do you stay away from those? Number one thing, if they can't justify their price, and I mean specifically, they can't tell you how they got to their price, and they're not transparent about it, that's a big red flag, okay? So as we all know, when it comes to construction, it's not a lump sum thing. You're not going in and buying an item from a store, right? There's material, there's labor, there's overhead, and there's profit. So you need all those 4 things to be there in your bid. And the issue is that you need to be able to, as a consumer, as a client, as a customer, to be able to ask for that. Show me your breakdown. So if you're an honest contractor, you've got nothing to hide. I'll be as transparent as I can be. I want my company to make money. I want to make money personally. I want my employees to make money. I want my installers to make money. I want it to be a fair amount. I want it to be a good amount that reflects their work and their experience and their certifications and the amount of effort that they've put into. And I've got nothing to hide about that. I want you to know I want to make money, and I want everyone with me to make money as well. But I want it to be fair, right? So I need a company to make a decent net profit. I need to have a decent gross margin. I need to make sure I'm buying good materials from a good supplier that I trust, who's not going to give me discontinued things or things from different lots and different factories that don't match up with the shingle color, and so you get a crazy Frankenstein looking roof. I need to make sure they're making the money that they need to make so that they can give me that right product, so I can put that right product on your roof. But the key is transparency. So I have no problem showing anybody, hey, here's what I'm paying in materials, here's what I'm paying my labor, here's what my overhead is, and here's what's left over for the company. And if someone's not willing to show you that, that's probably an inflated price. Are very willing and very quick to drop their price. Something's off, right? If they gave you a price and whenever you have an objection and you push back a little bit, and immediately the reaction is, oh, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. What if I take $5,000 off? Can I get your signature today? Will you commit today if I take that off? Big red flag. Big red flag. If that was a fair price to begin with, you wouldn't do that. You would never take $5,000 off of a price when you know this is based on fair market value and what I need my company to be successful for, and my installers to be paid correctly, etc. You would hold firm to that. The most that you would ever see that's reasonable, any solid, legitimate company knows the high end and the low end of their margin. And here's the key. They need to be pretty close. They don't need to be like this. They should be, hey, this is the maximum that we feel is fair. This is the minimum that we need to keep going. And so there could be a little play. There could be a little wiggle. And yeah, be smart, investigate, ask, push a little bit. Hey, can you do any better for me? But if they come down thousands and thousands of dollars off their initial bid, then you know that first bid, that first number, didn't really mean anything. That was not a legitimate price. So get behind it, find out what's in it. If they drop it too quickly, be suspicious. If they focus your attention away from the big number, the real number, the actual replacement cost value for your roof, your siding, your gutters, whatever it is, and they only focus on the low monthly price up. If that's what they want you to focus on, and they try to continually pull your attention away from the big number, again, red flag, red flag. Now, little caveat, little disclaimer, there's nothing wrong with financing. It's a good thing to offer. A lot of people find that very useful. And a good estimator is going to build that in. If you request it, he's going to build that in and show you what your different options are. And try to make that work within a budget that actually does work for you and doesn't hurt your financial situation. That's okay. But if they're just pushing you to ignore that big number, and hey, if I could get this to $150 a month, would you sign? If I could put it to $250 a month with no money down, there's a reason there's a massive crossover between car salesmen and roof salesmen. And I am not lying. If you saw the numbers of how often those two intersect, it would blow your mind. So you've been to the car dealership, you know the game. Treat it the same way with roofing, with siding, with windows, with any kind of contracting, and just know that the same game is being played. Find someone who's serious, find someone who's transparent, who's honest. Again, we're not the only name in the book that's honest and trustworthy. But unfortunately, there's a lot of used car salesmen out there too, so be aware. The reason behind this is so that you can kind of test the market, see what the high end is, what the low end is, and try to find the middle point and stick with that. The only problem with that is you're kind of rolling dice. So here's what I mean by that. It may be a false sign of inflation if you get the top end price and you say, well, that's overpriced. Could be, but also it might not be. It just depends on which quotes you're getting. You don't have any guarantee of those 3, 4, 5 quotes that the middle one represents the actual fair market value, the actual middle. You have no idea. You could get 3 or 4 lowball quotes. You could get 3 lowball quotes and a crazy high one. You could get any kind of combination. So it's not a bad idea, but it's not the end all be all to find that fair market value, the true middle. At BMP, what we do is we use a system called Xactimate. This is a third-party software that's been around for decades. It's actually the standard for pricing among almost all of the insurance carriers. So all the big insurance companies that you know of, this is how they determine pricing for damage. If there's a hailstorm, a windstorm, a tree falls on your house, a tornado comes through the town, this is what they use. For every single line item, they have thousands and thousands of claims in your area that they have researched over the last year or so. And they have found the median number for every one of those: material, labor, overhead, all of that is built into that. So it's, instead of getting 3 or 4 bids, when you get an estimate based on Xactimate, what are you getting? You're getting it based on tens of thousands of claims instead of just 3 or 4. So that's our transparent pricing. That's how we can say with total confidence, this is not approximately fair market value. This is not about what you should pay. This is scientifically the best we can possibly figure out the correct number that we should base our pricing on. So I know that's a lot of information, but hopefully it's helpful to you in navigating the very, very murky waters of pricing within the contracting world. It takes some effort, it takes some research to find out how to get a fair price, how to get a good value, but that's what we're about at BMP: relationships, respect, results. So hopefully this is helpful to you. If we can help you out with any kind of an estimate or a bid on whatever project you're looking at, roofing, siding, windows, gutters, give us a call, fill out the form online, shoot us a direct message on Facebook. We'd love to help you out. Thanks so much.